Holy crap! Lonnie yelled. There was an oncoming mob of zombies in the street and he was driving too fast. He slammed on the brakes and attempted to miss them by swerving to the left. The tires screeched from the brakes as Lonnie struggled to regain control of the van. All Axel and Rolf could do was watch and brace for impact before the van inevitably crashed. A moment passed until Axel, Lonnie and Rolf were able to recover from the daze of the crash. Axel's abdomen hurt as the seatbelt dug into his side, but at least it had saved him from flopping about the van. The zombies' moans and growls were growing closer. Lonnie quickly turned the key in the ignition, only to hear the sound of the starter failing to ignite the engine. He continued to try multiple times. Come on, he grumbled. Get going, Lon, Rolf said as he rubbed his sore neck. You just stranded us in the middle of a zombie horde. It's not my fault, Rolf, Lonnie snapped, slamming his hands against the dashboard. Yes, it is, Rolf shouted back. You should have just plowed through them. What, and just kill them? Lonnie was visibly frustrated and nervous. They may be sick right now, but they're still people. Axel understood Lonnie's sentiment concerning the precarious situation. As much as he agreed with Lonnie, it still was a difficult dilemma seeing the person hidden behind the ravenous, drooling beasts. Their bodies seemingly no longer housed civilized people. Now they were only a reminder of what civilization had been hours before. Better them than us, Rolf said. I think we need to stop pointing fingers and get the heck out of here, Axel interjected, grabbing his guitar. Recognizing the common sense in Axel's statement, Lonnie and Rolf abandoned their debate and joined him in grabbing their belongings. We've got to head to one of these buildings for cover, advised Axel. I'm sure every one of those buildings houses zombies, Axel, grumbled Rolf. Axel frustratingly shrugged. Got any better ideas? 'Cause I sure don't. Rolf and Lonnie eyed the crowded streets as the zombies began closing in on their location in a circle, like a group of predators, zoning in on their prey. Touché, answered Rolf. Axel nodded his head at Rolf and Lonnie and briefly flicked his tongue. Ready, guys? He said while bracing himself to swing open the door. Do it, Rolf ordered. Without hesitation, Axel swung open the door and began knocking back the zombies with his guitar to create an opening for them to escape through the mob. He immediately slammed an approaching panther in the face with the bass of his guitar while feeling a bear clawing at his arm. Quickly, he swung around and slammed the guitar over the bear's head, then kicked him in the chest, knocking him backward into two ferrets. Rolf and Lonnie joined in, smacking and punching their way through the crowd. When they cleared a path, the three of them ran like there was no tomorrow, without looking back. The sounds of the ruckus were deafening, from the growling of the zombies and the screams of victims in the distance. But Axel didn't have time to give thought to the growling mob of zombies that continued to close in on them, other than to stay one step ahead. Finding a building to take cover in proved to be extremely difficult, as the streets continued to remain crowded. Zombies from both sides dashed in and out of buildings, breaking through glass windows. Some of them even appeared to be climbing the side of the walls, displaying uncommon mobility among most species. Seeing nothing but ravenous zombies down the street, Axel darted through the only remaining opening into a dark back alley, with Lonnie and Rolf behind him. The zombies' moaning echoed down the alleyway, and he knew they would be trapped if the alley lacked any further accessibility. Axel tried to open one of the doors on the side of a building. To his frustration, the doorknob turned, but the door appeared to be wedged shut. His only hope of survival was on the other side of that door, so he pushed and heaved with all his might. Out of the way! Rolf shouted in a gruff voice. He slammed into the door and it opened an inch. It appeared that something was on the other side, blocking the door from opening. The three of them pushed against the door until it finally gave in, and they were able to open it enough for them to squeeze through. Once inside, they wasted no time in securing the door. They grabbed the furniture in the room. It seemed to be an office of some kind. Axel, Rolf, and Lonnie slumped over the desks and cabinets wedged against the door, panting heavily while trying to catch their breath. Unable to form words through their panting, Axel managed to send a grin of relief to Lonnie, acknowledging their narrow escape. Nevertheless, Axel's celebration was cut short as the end of a handgun pressed against his head.